So first of all, thank you very, very much, David, for joining me this afternoon. I know that you've a very busy schedule this week, what with training and getting ready for the game against Guildford. How has this week been for you?
Yeah, it's been good. We kind of had our first day of the week yesterday. Kiefer brought us in and just tried to get us refocused for what's at hand here on Saturday night at the SSE.
Mm.
And then we had our first skate this morning, and the boys were feeling good, and there was a good buzz in the locker room. So I think everyone's pretty excited.
Great. And so looking back, how did you think last weekend's games went against the Steelers and Manchester?
Yeah, I think they went really well. Obviously, at the end of the season like this, every game's really important, and I think the boys rose to the occasion both nights. Both are good teams, but ultimately, our foundation and our systems came through, and we were able to break the backs of both clubs.
So the game on against the Steelers, a wee bit disappointing to lose three players through injuries: Matt Foley, Grant Cooper, and Matt McLeod. Wee bit disappointing that to happen.
Yeah, that was a big loss. That certainly put a little bit more stress on us for Saturday night against Manchester. But thankfully we have good guys on the bench like Tyler Soy and Henrik Eriksson, and they were able to come in and play an important role and fill that void.
Hmm. And it was a physical game, and it was to be expected from the Steelers, given that they were coming in trying to fight for to remain in contention in the championship.
Yeah, I think they were probably a little embarrassed that we've really dominated them all year. So I think they were a little embarrassed about that, and they got physical, which is to be expected. No hard feelings. Like I'd probably have a similar mindset if I was in their shoes. So
Mhm.
yeah, physical match, but nothing that we weren't ready for or we didn't expect.
Mhm. Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, the goal with from Scott, 30 seconds into the first period, on more or less the first shift, that was a massive goal, to get the go ahead.
Yeah, that was huge. Like we always want to, start well, and obviously, beginning of a weekend, Sheffield being able to start with Scott's goal
Mhm.
early in the first period was massive for us and got us off on the right foot.
Mhm. And in the second, there was a bit of pushback from the Steelers, but that door was pretty much shut in the third from yourselves.
Yeah, when we have systematic breakdowns, thankfully we have a phenomenal goalie in Tyler Beskorani in net, and he was able to kind of have our backs there when they did get chances.
Okay. So, and then the game in Manchester, despite being a few bodies down, the Giants took that game to Manchester right from the start.
Yeah, credit to Manchester though. They played hard, and I think it was only 2-1 going into the third period. So they certainly didn't just roll over. They have some good players on their team, good goaltender. So yeah, no, certainly they played hard, but again, we just kind of felt like we just kept, rolling and rolling and rolling, and as the game went on, we were just able to break them.
Yeah, and it was a game with the Storm coming back into the SSE. Given what happened in November, there was a few scores that what needed to be settled on Saturday night.
Yeah, obviously they came into our rink, a few months back and took two games, which, was probably in the backs of our minds going into that game, but it's a tough season and stuff like that happens, unfortunately. So we were looking to end our competitions against Manchester this season on a good note, especially given what they did to us earlier on.
Yeah, and as you say, yeah, it was a very different team from the Giants that played the Storm. I know that it was also a different Storm team in a way. Um, having that turnover in the roster midway through the season, and it really showed there was a lot more fight per se at the SSE on Saturday night?
Yeah, obviously our roster looks a little bit different than it did, a few months back, but with the group we have right now, we feel we can go up against anyone in the league and put up a good result. And I think the fans saw that on Saturday.
Yeah, and on Saturday, obviously, whilst your game was ongoing, the Flames were also playing the Stars in Dundee, and obviously that was a chance. If the Flames had have lost to the Stars, it would have made the Giants champs that night. Was there any news feeding down to the bench about what was going on in Dundee, or was it just solely focused on what was going on the ice?
Yeah, no, I think maybe the coaches were keeping an eye on that, but Keefer does a good job just kind of focusing us on the task at hand. And ultimately, we know that if we win the games ahead of us, we're going to be champions of the league. And so we just focus on winning hockey games, really. It's cliche, but there's really no other way to look at it. I mean, we're certainly not, watching scores and hoping for other teams to lose. Like, we're just focused on winning games, and we'll let the chips fall as they may.
And it was great to see David Gilbert or Gilly picking up 2 goals against the Storm. That must have been a great to see for you guys, and also for his morale as well.
Yeah, he is a very strong and imposing player when he wants to be. He's got a great shot. He's a good skater, and so it's certainly not a surprise for us when he finds the back of the net. And I wouldn't be surprised if down the stretch he does that a little bit more often.
Mm-hmm. And then finally on the Manchester game, again, it was another fantastic game for Sean Norris with his 3rd goal of the weekend. He was totally pumped on Friday night whenever I spoke to him. He's a fantastic talent for Britain.
Yeah, he's been a very valuable contributor for us this year. Another guy that I think we're going to be leaning on heavily down the stretch. Great hockey player, great teammate. We love to have him around.
So this weekend is going to be a massive game against Guildford at the SSE.
Yeah, absolutely. We're expecting their best, as I'm sure they're expecting our best. I would imagine the crowd will be electric per usual. We've had some good battles with Guildford this year. So yeah, we're expecting nothing but a very competitive and intense game on Saturday.
The game, obviously, it's going to be probably one of the bigger ones in Giants history, certainly in recent times. I know that the Challenge Cups have been huge games at the SSE, but this one will be, definitely up there for historic moments.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Obviously a lot's on the line, but I think as players we can't get too wrapped up in that, or else maybe we get a little bit lost in the moment. The reality is, it is just kind of another game, and we've done well when we view them, maybe not too high or not too low. So we're just trying to go in even keeled and focus on playing our style, playing our result, and we feel if we do that, we'll be confident, or we'll be content with the outcome.
And how important is that mentality of just taking one game as it comes for success?
I think it's huge, especially in this league. It's just such a grind, so many matches. I think if you try to, look into each game too much or too little, you'll kind of go crazy. So you just kind of have to keep an even keeled attitude toward them all, and just kind of keep turning them over. And before you know it, you'll be at the end of the season, and hopefully you're lifting trophies.
Yeah, and it is to be expected that both the Giants and the Flames will be putting everything into that game to secure the title this Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we're expecting their best. It's the end of the season. There's really no reason why we wouldn't get their best. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at us, and we're going to do the same to them. So, the boys will absolutely be physically and mentally prepared for whatever comes our way on Saturday.
Yeah, and a couple of months ago, you said to me that there was no shortcuts to success. That's very much been the case for the Giants this year. There's been some tough points, but it's all about keeping the focus.
Yeah, I mean, this league, it's all about consistency. It's all about hard work, good routines, good habits, good teammates as well. I'm not sure if I said that. And you know, this league will test every aspect of an organization and of a team, and we feel in Belfast that you have to kind of be clicking on all cylinders to have success. And thankfully, we have good coaches and management that give the players good resources and support myself and the other captains to make sure we're able to steer the ship in the direction that we see fit.
And Paul Dixon over in the Flames, he's put together a fantastic team this season.
Yeah, he has. Obviously the additions of McAdam, Tedesco, and Tate, I would say, are kind of their horses there. They've always, at least in my 3 or 4 years in the league, they've always had good teams, but this year they just really seem like the combination of players they've put together has been quite exceptional. You think back to last season, they made the Nottingham weekend, which is no small feat. So they're always in the mix. But yeah, certainly they've done a little bit better than years past, and a lot of credit to their guys there.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned there Eamon McAdam. Obviously, he's an old college friend of yourself, but he's the player to beat literally on Saturday night in goals. He has been very consistent this season.
Yeah, great goaltender, very athletic, very competitive. We know that we're going to see the best version of him on Saturday. And yeah, obviously I know him very well on and off the ice. Great person, great teammates. So in that regard, it'll be kind of a fun matchup. Unfortunately, someone's going to have to lose, but regardless, really happy for Eamon and the year that he's had.
Yeah, and then the other chap you're mentioning there was Daniel Tedesco. He's been putting the goals home this season as well. So he's won the watch this weekend.
Yeah, great player, very calm and composed with the puck, competes hard. It's easy to have a lot of respect for guys like that, kind of just goes about his own business. He's not out there yapping or chirping too much. So yeah, I have nothing but positive interactions and opinions of him. So happy for him, and I'm sure he'll continue to have success whatever he does after this season as well.
Okay. And then finally, how pleasing would it be for the Giants to win the championship on home ice this weekend?
Yeah, it'd be great. Obviously we're in a good spot here. We kind of get 2 whacks at it. Winning it at home would, I'm sure, be preferred. But at the end of the day, the goal is to win the league. So if it happens at home or if it happens on the road, I think it won't really matter at the end of the day.
Adam, you must be pleased with tonight's performance overall.
Yeah, it was a full 60 from the guys, but in particular, I thought it was important that we started on time. And to get that goal in the first shift, it was a big goal by Collins and a great play by O, and that puts us up a goal, and it sets us off on the right foot.
Yeah, and it was a physical game right from the start. There was plenty of big hits from the Steelers. It was to be expected.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you lose all chances to win the league, and obviously we've seen that frustration boil over for them tonight, but I thought our guys handled it well, stuck together and got the job done. And it was disappointing to lose 3 guys over that game, with McLeod in the first, and Grant Cooper went down the tunnel in the second, and then obviously Matt Foley in the third. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game. We're in playoffs. It's every game's intense. There's going to be bumps and bruises. We need to shake them as quick as possible and get back to it. But we have great confidence in our depth.
And you had a number of guys back as well, Jeff Baum and Ben Lake. good to have them back on the line.
Yeah, huge. I thought both of them had great games for us. I mean, two very key players, key parts of last year's success and very key parts of this year's success. So full confidence in those guys to jump into a game like that and do the job.
And then the Guildford win last night meant that you guys had to win tonight to to keep in the chase. So you're obviously very pleased with the performance now.
Yeah, it's a very big win. I'm sure that Guildford was following along just like we were following along on Wednesday, and I can tell you, it's not fun. It feels like a loss yourself. So for us, it's really just worry about ourselves and get the job done. And then that starts obviously again tomorrow. We'll enjoy tonight and get rested, but we have to finish the job tomorrow.
Yeah, and finally on Manchester, you'll be expecting, you'll be looking to settle scores against them tomorrow night.
Yeah, they took 4 points out of this building earlier on in the season, kind of changed the flow of our season, and we need to be prepared and ready to go for tomorrow. Otherwise, the same thing could happen. Okay, Sean, pleased with how the game went tonight to them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a good start. All the boys, we were raring to go from the get-go. We know what's on the line right now, so all the boys are ready.
And obviously, you're pretty delighted to get your 2 goals as well.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to get 2. I got one a couple months ago now, and I wanted to get another one. So to get 2 in one game felt great.
And talk us through the penalty shot. How, what happened there?
I mean, Keefe bought me some time there speaking to the ref, but I just thought just stay calm and do what I know and do what I've been practicing.
And again, it was a very physical game against the Steelers, only to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew it was going to get chippy after we started taking the lead, so all the boys kind of knew and we tried. I mean, protecting ourselves the best way we could, but I mean, sometimes you can't handle what guys have in their heads. So
yeah, and tonight was a must-win to keep in order to chase the title down.
Yeah, for sure. We like I said, everyone in that room knows what's up for grabs right now, and every game's a must-win, and we've got to keep going.
The Steelers came in tonight looking to cause an upset.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they know like what we're going for here, and they know that potentially they want to take points off us, but we know what's up for grabs, and we're here to win games.
And then tomorrow night you're up against the Manchester Storm. You must be looking forward to that.
I am indeed. Two home games in 2 days. I haven't done that before, so I'm raring to go for tomorrow already.
Okay, Steve, that was quite a game tonight. How did you see it?
Yeah, it was good. We got off to a hot start. Never really let off the gas other than the one breakdown in the first period. And, we continued to play hard and eventually took over that game. So it was a good one.
And 2 goals from yourself again tonight. That must be very pleasing to get 2 goals again.
Yeah, you know what? It's at this time of the year. It doesn't matter who puts puck in there as long as we are putting the puck in the net. So, we're just happy with the 2 points, and we push forward now.
And it was a pretty physical game right from the start. Plenty of big hits from the Steelers. That was only to be expected with a team who were coming in to play desperately.
Yeah, definitely. Any game this time of year, it's gonna be tough. Everyone's finishing their hits. Everyone's playing their best hockey. So. We knew they were a physical team, and just got to stick to our game, and worked out tonight.
And talk me through the what happened at the 9 minutes left in the game.
I didn't like the hit Foles took there. So obviously you stick up for each other in that room, and I just grabbed the guy that hit him, and I didn't like that too much. Obviously I'm not the toughest guy out there, but. We got to stick together in there.
Yeah, and obviously losing McLeod and Foley and Grant Cooper as well. The lineup was pretty depleted at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's obviously tough to see those guys go down. We've got depth in here, so it's next man up mentality, and we've got some guys that didn't play tonight that are extremely capable and very good hockey players. So. We don't know anything, but we'll see where the lineup goes tomorrow.
Adam, we have a really interesting game coming up next month against a Ukrainian team. Can you give me a wee bit of information on what is coming up for fans?
Yeah, so the Ukrainian pro team of Gerson is coming over as part of their Hockey Can't Stop tour that they've been on, I think, across either Canada or North America. But it's a great cause. Obviously, perspective in sport is important, and there are bigger things going on in the world than an ice hockey match. So I think for us to be able to get behind this and support ice hockey in Ukraine and playing our part to help out there, I think is really important.
Yeah, and can you give us some information on how the game came about to be played here in Belfast? Do you know?
Well, I think it was a few discussions between the head of the Hockey Can't Stop tour of Ukraine and Steve Thornton. I think that's how it generated.
Who are coming over to Belfast? Do you know much about them at all?
I don't know much about them, but I do know that Ukraine has put out a lot of good hockey players. I know that they're going to be full of pride for their team and their country, and I know that type of mindset and what they're going to feel like when they come in here in front of this building. It's going to be a tough game. They're going to work extremely hard, and we need to be prepared for that.
It will be a really nice way to finish off the season for yourselves before the team splits up and goes back home, and to get this friendly international.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some players that unfortunately won't be able to attend because of travel, but there's a good portion of this team, and we're going to bring in some exciting players for the fans that aren't too far removed that can help us out, and it's going to be a great game, entertaining game for everybody.
And it's another opportunity for the Giants to play another European team as well.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting opportunity. A team that we don't know much about, but it's a great opportunity for them to showcase themselves to us for future potential future signings, but also another chance for us to challenge ourselves against a different type of opponent.
And finally, as you mentioned earlier on, it's a great opportunity for the Giants organisation to lend support to our friends in the Ukraine.
Absolutely, I think it's that's what our ethos is here, right? Everybody, we try to get out in the community and help here, but also the broader spectrum. I think that this Hockey Can't Stop tour for the Ukraine is really important, and I think that if we can play our part and have held out a helping hand to them, I think that's important.
So, Steve, we've got a really interesting game coming up next month for the Giants, with a team coming over from the Ukraine to play here at the SSE. Can you give me a wee bit of information about the game?
Well, we're excited to announce that we're going to be playing a team from the top league in the Ukraine as part of the Hockey Can't Stop tour. So they played across Europe, and they played in North America, trying to raise funds and create awareness for the plight that they have right now in the Ukraine. I think 40% of the rinks have either been taken over or destroyed there. 60% of the players have been displaced, and it's just hockey giving back. We feel that it's important for us to put a profile on this event and do these types of things when we have the opportunity to help grow the game in the Ukraine in this time.
And how did the game come about? How did it all come about?
Well, conversation started quite a while ago on this one. So we'd been toying with the idea of trying to do something to support it, and as a charity ourselves, we felt it was a good thing to be supporting another charity. And you think about the way we started in Northern Ireland here about 23 years ago. A lot of people said that hockey wouldn't last, and the hockey community is very, very tight, and we want to make sure that hockey lasts in the Ukraine.
So, Steve, tell us a wee bit about Dnipro and what sort of team they are.
Well, they're a team that plays in the top Ukrainian league, and they've had success in that league. I think they've won a few championships, but more importantly, they're a team without a rink right now. So we want to give back in a way that we can hopefully raise some funds and some awareness to help raise funds to build new rinks, and also for the players in their program to move across Europe, possibly with billeted families, and continue to play hockey.
And so obviously an opportunity for the players from the Ukraine to get exposure to other big leagues in Europe, and opportunities to sign up for other leagues?
I think so. I think it's going to be a good experience for them, but I think this is more than the hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reality is that like a hockey game is going to happen here, but it's much more than that, and we hope that the people of Northern Ireland and beyond get behind it.
Yeah, and obviously it will be a nice way to finish off the season with before the team splits and things.
It will. The season, it's been a good one so far, and we're hoping that it continues to be good, and this could be ideally a celebration game for everybody.